There is a vineyard in the Landes that most people have never heard of. It covers 450 hectares, sits between the Landes forest and the first foothills of the Pyrenees. It produces white, red and rosés from grape varieties found almost nowhere else in France. And it's known locally as the secret vineyard of the Landes. It received its AOC status in 2011, relatively recently by French wine standards, and its revival in the 80s was driven almost entirely by one man, a chef who became a winemaker, a man who already had 3 Michelin stars and decided that, well, that wasn't enough. Today, we're talking about the Vin de Tursan. This is Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast, and welcome back to the Food Tour de France. I'm your host, Andrew Pryor. Today, the Tour de France starts in Hagetmau, a market town in Landes, sitting in the country between the great Landes pine forests to the north and the Pyrenees foothills to the south. Let's start with where Tursan is and what is it? Because it is generally one of the lesser known appellations of southwest France. It deserves a proper introduction. The Tursan appellation sits around 35 kilometres southeast of Mont-de-Marsan, straddling the Landes and the Béarn, and covering 36 municipalities, 35 in the Landes department and 1 in Gers. The vineyard is planted on the hillsides between the Landes forest and the Pyrenees foothills, on 4 main soil types: calcareous clay, fawn sands, pebbles and clay silicous soils with gravel. The climate is Atlantic, around 1900 hours of sunshine per year, significant rainfall that's distributed fairly evenly across the year, with the influence of the Pyrenees providing warm, dry periods in summer that are essential for the grape varieties that are grown here. It's wine country that feels different from the great appellations of Bordeaux or Burgundy. What makes Tursan interesting from a wine perspective is the grape varieties. And the most important of these is one that most people outside of the southwest have, well, never encountered: baroque. Baroque B is the exclusive white grape variety of the Landes, grown almost nowhere else in the world. And it is dominant variety of the Tursan. It is a late ripening grape that produces wines of real character, aromatic, extracted with a natural acidity that gives them freshness and longevity. Now the revival and the man behind it. The Tursan Vineyard was recognised as a wine of higher quality in 1958, which gave it official status but did not make it widely known. For decades it remained exactly what it had always been: a local wine in a relatively obscure corner of the Landes, produced by a fragmented collection of small farms. The transformation began in the 80s, and it began because of Michel Guérard. Michel Guérard is one of the great figures of French gastronomy. Born in 1933, he was one of those founding fathers of Nouvelle cuisine alongside Paul Bocuse and Roger Verger and the Trois Gras brothers. He also is the inventor of cuisine minceur, a lighter approach to the French cooking developed in the 70s that had enormous influence internationally. He had 3 Michelin stars, and in the 70s he came to a small thermal town in the Landes and made it famous. His restaurant, Le Pré de Eugénie, has been one of the great tables of the Southwest for decades. Guérard decided to make wine. Advised by oenologists, he invested in the Tursan vineyard, brought serious attention and winemaking skill to the appellation that had been quietly ticking along without much outside interest. He used his considerable media profile to bring the wine to a wider audience. And the revival in the 80s was largely attributed to his involvement. And then the AOC designation that came in 2011, formalising what had long been recognised locally as a wine of genuine quality, was in no small part the result of the reputation that he and producers like him had built for the appellation over the preceding decades. The connection between Tursan and the food in the region is natural. White Tursan built on the baroque grape pairs beautifully with the fish of the Landes. The secret vineyard of the Landes is called that for a reason. It's not trying to compete with Bordeaux or Burgundy, it's doing something more specific, producing wine that tastes of the landscape. If you find yourself anywhere in the Tursan zone and the tour is passing through, it's a good reason as any to explore. Look for a bottle of white Tursan, drink it with the food of the region, and appreciate that you're drinking something that almost nobody outside of the southwest has heard of. And the secret vineyard of the Landes deserves to be less of a secret. That's the Vigne de Tursan. Tomorrow, the food tour de France is another stage and another story. So bon appétit et à très bientôt.